And after restarting the stream, I can see we're on the old tube now. That's great. Fucking YouTube, eh? Best video platform on planet Earth, isn't it? Don't think words can quite express just how tragic sounding that copyright-free music is. I'm paying money for that every month. Might as well dive into it, you know what I mean? I'm nearly 20 minutes late after all. Aye. McCooley. That was a little Braveheart phrase there, if you didn't pick it up. Hello and welcome into this Wednesday's Entertainment News. I am John, here to discuss the latest happenings in the world of Hollywood. Primarily tonight, the world of Hollywood. It is entertainment news. There is no music or gaming news being discussed on the show tonight. It's all movie and, in one topic's case, TV related news. But it all ties into movies. And you'll see if you stick around just why that is the case. Main headline in the show though, Hercule Poirot. Try to speak like a Frenchman. Poirot. A Frenchman with a speech impediment. Hercule Poirot. A Haunting in Venice. Is that how you spell Venice? Even now I'm looking at that and it's got me worried. I think that's how you spell Venice. Sets a new record for the sort of mustachioed detective, obviously of Agatha Christie fame. There has been 3 movies now, well 2, with one about to drop, which is A Haunting in Venice, in this little modernised Christie franchise. And by all accounts this is set, I think, a record for that, but maybe even a record for the original Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile movies from way back yonder in the 1970s, I think, and 80s. So this is big news for Kenneth Branagh, a man who seems to have delved into this. It's a real passion project of his. Very talented man in front of the camera and indeed behind the camera. He's went full force, full measure, right into the Agatha Christie novels. He's put himself front and centre as the, what did he call it again? There's a name for it. There's a name for a detective in these, and I can't think of it just now. That's going to be a recurring theme tonight. A lot of forgetfulness at times. I'm nursing a potential throat infection. Maybe something else. Maybe the Rona again. I don't know. Just a little bit off kilter tonight. So this could be an interesting show. If you're not intrigued by the topics, then stick around to see one man deconstruct, self-destruct over the course of the next 30-40 minutes or so, maybe even longer, if my throat can handle it. But to digress, as you can see, it's made a record. It's coming in from Screen Rant, multiple sources in all honesty, because the Rotten Tomato scores have dropped. I've not actually got Rotten Tomatoes opened. That's something I will endeavour to do in a few jigs by simply doing this and searching the web for it. And then we'll just go to Rotten Tomatoes. Where art thou? Therefore art thou. You are there. We'll talk about that later, incidentally. That's not at all what we're speaking about. That's the last topic. Epic. I'll give you a little hint just now. It's not that epic. 80%, 91 reviews. It was at 79%. It's now went up another percent to the lovely round even number of 80%. This is the critics. They have obviously had the embargo lifted for the movie. That usually tells you the movie's coming out soon. I don't actually know when this movie drops. I know it's coming out soon because there has been trailers. I have seen the trailers and now we've got the reviews, so it must be pretty sharpish, maybe even as soon as Friday it's coming out. Really enjoyed the trailers. I have enjoyed this man's take on Hercule Poirot. It's a little bit in your face. The accent is a little bit Joey Barton in Marseille all those years ago. But I tell you, you can't do down Kenneth Branagh's acting abilities, and he really, just like Daniel Craig, is brilliant as Benoit Blanc in the Knives Out franchise, with the little round-headed man that is maestro director, Rian Johnson. Kenneth Branagh really is that for these retellings of the Agatha Christie novels, obviously in cinematic medium. But as you can see, A Haunting in Venice is Rotten Tomato score. That was deliberate. Rotten Tomato score has been revealed. Pardon me. And the new Hercule Poirot movie sets a franchise record. Directed by Branagh, the upcoming film serves as an adaptation of Agatha Christie's Halloween Party. Was there always an apostrophe in between the two E's in Halloween? Perhaps there was. You learn something new every day, you truly do. The film follows Branagh's two previous Christie adaptations, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, following Poirot as he solves multiple murders at a seance gone wrong. I really enjoyed the vibe, man. It was gone full paranormal, but we know that it's almost... No, I've not read the novel, so I'm surmising here. It's full on cheap parlour tricks. There's a little bit of hocus pocus, what going on while someone stabbies or shooties. And then we get the murder mystery unfolding, and the mustachioed wonder, the sleuth, that's the word, comes in and tries to piece it all together. In this case, I think he is fully immersed in the seance madness. Why anyone with an analytical, logical brain would want to be involved in a seance is another guess. And I'd like you to maybe guess, because I'm not doing it. Neither here nor there. Ahead of A Haunting in Venice's release date, the Rotten Tomato score for the film sits at 79, now 80%. As of this writing, with 87 reviews, now it's 90. This puts the latest sequel ahead of both Murder on the Orient Express and Death in the Nile, both of which hold a 61% rating. It's likely that the new movie's score will change, however, as more reviews are added. No shit, Sherlock. Look, I'm surprised the first two movies are as low as 61%. Maybe not Death in the Nile. Murder on the Orient Express I thought was pretty decent. It was a decent murder mystery movie. I liked the way they framed it. I enjoyed the performances of the stellar cast, and we'll get into that. I'll search it up in due course, just who is in this cast. For me, Death in the Nile never quite reached the heights of the first movie's cast. It's always difficult when you're having to employ the services of another A-list cast for a sort of murder mystery movie, which seems to be par for the course in that genre. We've seen it with Rian Johnson's movies. We've seen it before in the 70s with the other Agatha Christie adaptations. You've got a lot of star figures popping into these movies, some for mere cameos, some for big meaty roles. So for me, Death in the Nile never quite reached the heights of the cast of Murder on the Orient Express, and indeed the movie never quite reached the height, but it was still fucking decent. I don't think it was 61% levels of bad. I'd maybe give it a little bit higher. But this one's encouraged both those movies out of the water. 79, now 80% rating. And indeed, I'm going to get into what some of the critics have been saying. I feel I did a better photoshopping job. It wasn't my best thumbnail. I have to stress, I'll readily admit when I've did a bit of a lemon. And that most certainly is a bit of a lemon. A couple of comments here, I think Stephen, to be fair. When will you be doing more reactions? Putty Patel. Hello, Harshat Singh. Didn't know you were in. Sorry, had the chat behind the browser. We'll be doing more reactions in about 2.5 weeks. That's when the issue with the channel clears up once and for all. And we're free to go full blown right back into it. Slightly different way though. I have to stress, it won't be the 40-minute fucking omnibuses that we had before, but it was an entire episode cut up in 10-second increments. It'll be shorter form, probably sub 10 minutes for each episode moving forward. For films, Lord knows what we'll do. Although films haven't really been that much of an issue. It's more TVF related content. So if anyone has a good contact for the Viral Fever, maybe you can go and speak to them. And indeed the head figure at the Viral Fever, because by all accounts it's him who's sending the internet warriors, the bailiffs, the copyright panty wetters to our doors. Maybe you can speak to them about that. I've not got his number. Wish I did, because I'd like to have a chat with him as to why there's a big issue with a reaction going up for something that's already free to watch on YouTube. Lord knows. Ask him. I digress though. 2.5 weeks, roughly, in that range. I think about 19 days or something left, 20 days. Bounty Hunters, yeah, Stephen. Yeah, TVF's bounty hunters. They're coming for us. They're coming for us hard. Initially, we just thought it was a sweaty little guy in an office somewhere who had a bit of a hard on for going after small sort of content creators. Then it really did become apparent after a couple of emails from this geezer that he was working in cahoots with your guy, obviously, over at TVF. His name came up. It was in, I think, the other holding company for TVF. I forget the name of it. But it's sort of a similar vein. Sort of virus related. Something like that. It's an acronym. He's working on their behalf. So yeah, we have to watch what we're doing with TVF moving forward, which is a shame because we love their content. Love it a lot. Some of the best stuff I've seen from India and TV terms came from TVF. But if we're going to go after our channel and try and shut us down, then it just can't continue, sadly. Maybe have to try and contact them. That's what the other guys on YouTube seem to be able to do. I digress though. Went off on a tangent there. Let's get back to A Haunting in Venice. Tomato meter rating of now 80% through 90 or 80 reviews. Let's have a little look. 91 reviews. Did that go up there again? No, 80%. And this is just a little snippet. Condensed in a more neat way, because when you go into Rotten Tomatoes, you will see for yourself it's a little bit, it's actually not too fucking bad, you know that? You know, we'll just ditch that movie web capture completely. I'll just go down a rabbit hole here with the critiques. I'll pick out ones that catch my fancy. Look at Moira McDonald there of the Seattle Times. She looks like a mass murderer who's had a snapshot posted up online 40 years after the fact. Look at that. It's very Charles Manson-esque, isn't it? Fucking hell. Meets a bit of sort of Dave Grohl, Nirvana era grunge. Bit of Chris Novoselic in there as well. That's an old photograph, Moira. But we'll get into that. Jason Zinneman. In straddling genres, haunting. Fucking these movie critics. Jesus Christ. Haunting in Venice. It's A Haunting in Venice. It's literally as short a movie title and as simplistic as you can get in this. Fuckwit Jason Zinneman has condensed it to Haunting. Haunting can get stuck in the middle, but there's fun to be had there. Let's get into Moira, Charles Manson McDonald. As always, it's a pleasure to watch Brannis Poirot as he watches, never missing a thing. May he return with a more worthy corpse next time around. And that really is the gist of this here. I mean, I've had another article opened. I was going to discuss it, but I'm not as passionate as some others may be about Agatha Christie content. Just regarding whether he can come back. How long can this franchise continue with Branna as Poirot? Time will tell, really. I'll get into that in a moment. Putty says, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. You deserve all the success with your channel. Just finished the Family Man reactions with you guys. Enjoyed it very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm also slightly cringing when people go back and watch those ones sucker about a year ago, because I did have Graves' disease raping me hardcore. I had hyperthyroidism. I was down to about 11.5 stone, 10.5 stone, 11 stone, and my right eye was bulging like a fucking maniac. I looked like Marty Feldman on acid, and I just continued doing reactions. Didn't give a shit. Get in front of that camera and just let it go. I suppose we should just put a camera in front of him and let him go. That was me. Now my eyes settle back down again, I think. Certainly nowhere near as bad as it was back then. So we appreciate you watching it, but I also cringe for myself because it was a dark time for me. A dark time, man. I looked horrendous. Some might say I've not improved much. I would disagree, of course. Lindsay Barr of the Associated Press, a top critic. It can be hard to take stock of a filmmaker's career when they've made great Shakespeare and Cinderella adaptations. What the fuck does that mean? Cinderella has been put in the same sentence as William Shakespeare? What? The fuck are we doing here? As well as Foreign Artemis Fowl. But it's... well, let it go. But it's always a pleasant surprise when it works as A Haunting in Venice. Very much does. It seems like the general consensus is very positive for this movie. People are really enjoying it. We have got a Debbie Downer here, Kevin Mayer of the Times, and I will read him. Again, he looks like your man who is the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party in Scotland. Douglas Ross just looks like a sweaty Tory. And he writes for the Times, so probably is. But we'll get into him in a moment. We'll not get into him, we'll go on to him. Hoi Tran Boy of Inverse. With the moody borderline gothic haunting in Venice, Branagh and screenwriter Michael Green add a little haunted house horror into the murder mystery while retaining the satisfying joys of seeing Poirot solve the case. And look, yeah, that's something I enjoy about these kind of movies, and it's why I was such a huge fan of Columbo growing up. There is a unique pleasure in watching murder mystery movies, and indeed Columbo was in his own sort of pocket universe in that regard, pocket genre, and it wasn't a mystery. We knew who did the murder. It showed you the murderer committing the crime at the start of the episode, but we followed and lived vicariously through Columbo as he pieced together all the evidence and caught them in a web of lies. And there is something really pleasurable about watching this genre and just seeing the sleuth, the detective, bit by bit, piecing it all together, and then he formulates his sort of conclusion and brings him to task. There's no other genre really that does that kind of thing and does it well. I can't think of it. I mean, obviously different genres have their unique sort of components, their unique intrigues, if you like. Horror does the sort of horror thing well. It scares you if it's done right. It can be intelligent, it can be slow burn like an Ari Aster, it can be a slasher, it can be anything, but within that sort of genre there's a unique sort of property that makes it tick. Same with drama. It could be human condition, weighty stuff, and it brings real emotion out of you. With these murder mystery things, the unique property for me is that living vicariously, being in the sort of, I don't know, sort of out of the loop, if you like, until the very moment everything is revealed, and then you see the true brilliance of the writing, in this case Agatha Christie's writing, in Ryan Johnson's little round-headed case, his writing. There's something unique about the genre, and when it's done well, I don't think there's many genres in film that top murder mystery, and I'm so pleased to see it has had a renaissance in the last few years. Kevin Mayer, I says I'd get to sweaty little Tory Kevin Mayer. He's had this to say. I'm completely, this is all alleged. Not that Kevin's going to watch this, but I don't know Kevin. Kevin may be a fucking hardcore socialist, communist. He might not be a Tory at all. I'm just surmising because he's wrote something nasty about the movie or talked the movie down. That's and he writes for the Times. He may be a Tory. There's nothing wrong with being a Tory. If you're a Tory, you're a Tory. I think you're a prick, but that's fine. That's just my opinion amongst the millions of others out there. Kevin had this to say: "For there is a real crime at the heart of this latest and hopefully final." Touché. Christie adaptation, and it's also a murder. They've killed the fun. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me, that. Let's go to another Debbie Downer. In Session film. This guy looks like a sweaty film geek. This is the type of guy I could spend hours talking to. Absolutely certain of it. M.N. Miller. A Haunting in Venice is a beautiful looking monster in the house picture. Without the much tension or even fascination. Okay. We'll do a couple more and then I'm going to move off to pastures new here. I'm not going to spend all night fucking speaking about this movie. Helen O'Hara had this to say: "It may be too tame for horror fans." It's not a horror film, Helen. It's a murder mystery with horror elements tacked on. You need to draw a distinction there. It's not a horror film. If you want a horror film, go and watch Stanley Kubrick. Go and watch fucking Hitchcock, and then you'll get proper horror. Hell, go and watch a Mike Flanagan movie of recent times, an Ari Aster movie, a Robert Eggers movie, and you'll get horror. This is Branagh embodying Poirot. It's murder mystery, bitch. I take that back. I called her bitch. I didn't mean that. I just say bitch as an all-encompassing sort of term for everyone, regardless of sex. But because it was a woman, I'll take it back. It may be too tame for horror fans, but the gothic twist works remarkably well, even if everything else is business as usual for Belgian detective. For the Belgian detective. We'll do Herald's Son Australia, because I do love the Aussies. Les Patch. The relatively confined settings ushers in a rising sense of claustrophobia that Branagh exploits cleverly as director. Of course, it helps that he is spearheading a cast that plays off of each other surprisingly well. And you know what? I'll get into that just now. We're going to just bring this up. We're getting Putin again. Clearly, I love Vladimir Putin. Someone forgot to tell me, but clearly I do. A Haunting in Venice. Can we get the IMDb? That's not what we want. That's not what we want at all. We want this here. Come on, bring it up. Mother chod. A Haunting in Venice. let's look at the cast briefly, because I'm not completely versed with the cast. I remember Michelle Yeoh being in there. Is it as good as Murder on the Orient Express? And we're going to again endeavour to bring that up, 2017. And I'll do a little comparison here before I move onwards. We'll have a look. We've got Kenneth headline in both. Michelle Yeoh, current reigning Best Actress winner at the Academy Awards. Penelope Cruz, I think that's a win for Michelle. Penelope's stunning, of course, but she's not Michelle Yeoh as an actor. I'd say Michelle Yeoh's not stunning, by the way. She was back in the day. She's just older now. Jamie Dornan, Willem Dafoe, Judi Dench, Tina Fey. I mean, you're looking at it, man. It's not a stellar cast, is it, by any means? Out with the first 3-4 actors, it's a bit poor. This is completely flying in the face of what I says previously, that every murder mystery movie seems to have a star-studded A-list cast. But I mean, you've got Daisy Ridley in there to sort of balance it out, haven't you? Doesn't seem to matter. The movie's doing very well. It's getting well reviewed, and look, I'm looking forward to watching it. As I says, I really enjoy a murder mystery movie when it's done right. I think Kenneth's a fantastic guy, fantastic actor, director. Been around the block for many, many decades now, and he's really passionate about this character, which you can see he's expanding out this universe. Clearly, fundamentally gets Agatha Christie's storytelling and the message he's trying to portray in the movies, because he's doing a brilliant job, for me anyway, of adapting the movies from the novels. Long may it continue, unlike Kevin Mayer or whatever the fuck he was calling himself. Long may it continue. I want to see more of these movies getting made. I want to see the murder mystery movie going from strength to strength. Looking forward to seeing it, man. I like the little horror elements. I thought it looked really atmospheric from the trailers. I'm looking forward to seeing how these actors bounce off each other. And just if I agree with the actual review. But look, without further ado, I'm going to move on to the next topic, and I'm going to have a drink. Take a drink. Nothing beats H2O. It really is the best drink on terra firma, planet Earth. Can Cillian Murphy really be the next Bond? That's the question I'm asking. Why am I asking this? Why does it seem as though every 2 to 3 weeks I start speaking about James Bond again? Well, we can blame this geezer on Instagram, on the old Insta, on the gram, Dark Matter in Cop, because this guy has put together one of the most impressive bits of sort of fan art, if you like, concept art that I've seen in many a year. And it really has changed my opinion completely on whether I want to see Cillian Murphy playing James Bond. In my mind, I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to Bond. I have to stress I'm not a fucking James Bond fanatic by any means. I'm aware of the franchise. I've seen some of the Connery ones. I watched Pierce Brosnan as a young kid, and also I've seen the Daniel Craig movies up until recent days, but there's a whole generation, decades worth of Bond movies that I wasn't aware of, I've still not seen. So I'm not the biggest Bond fanatic, but I'm always of the mindset that Bond should be British. I don't give a fuck what his ethnicity is within that, what his sexuality is. Obviously it has to be a male, because it's James Bond. You can't have a fucking female James Bond. You could these days, but for me it has to be a male. But I was always of the mindset it should be a British male, or someone who's really good at doing British accents, portraying it. I've never been one for thinking Australian, American, Irish. It's not really been something that I've looked for in James Bond. I've been looking for sort of Scottish, English, British. Idris Elba, Tom Hardy, the Scottish guy, I always forget his name, Sam Heughan or something like that. These are the guys that have been on my sort of radar for James Bond over the last couple of years, since the whole replacing of Daniel Craig became a thing. I kind of ruled Cillian out because I thought he's Irish. He's a good Irishman. He's from, I think, Cork. Might be from Dublin. I don't know. I think he's from Cork though. County Cork, which is where my father's side of the family are from. From Cork in County Cork. So I never really looked at him as being a potential Bond. He's a little bit short for Bond as well. I mean, Daniel Craig was getting tanned at 5'10ish, 5'11ish for being too short. I think he was slipping a cheeky little lift into the shoes for the role. Prior to that, you had 6 foot plus guys like Connery and Pierce Brosnan portraying the character. Also, we're going off the beaten path with the looks for Daniel Craig as well. The fair hair, the blonde eye, the blue eyes. Bond has usually been a dark-haired, tall geezer, British geezer. So Murphy's a little bit on the short side, stature-wise and in real height, to potentially be James Bond. But we've got camera tricks and we can obviously cast short arses to play the villain next to him. So it's not much of an issue. But look, I digress. I'll get into why I'm speaking about it. Just look at that. Just look at that image. Oh my days. Is that not something? Just take that in, feast upon that. Marinade in that image. Look at the font. Look at this poster. What a job Dark Matter Inc. Corp has done here. Cillian Murphy, top billing, 007, James Bond. Look at him in that suit. I know it's photoshopped, but does he not just look tremendous? Does he not? Guys still get kind of boyish looks, but he's rugged and he's been round the block. He's got the experience to play James Bond. I'm now in the Cillian Murphy fucking bus for James Bond. Look at that. Is that not something? And see that down below there, a film by Christopher Nolan. That's something I want to see happening. That was talked about maybe a year ago. The idea was being floated that Chris Nolan may be coming in to direct the next Bond movie, and indeed maybe a couple of Bond movies. Wouldn't that be something? Chris Nolan and I'm bringing in Cillian Murphy to play 007. You can just imagine it just now, how good it will be written. How good the sort of cinematic, the practical effects, how good that movie will look. The atmosphere and the enjoyableness of being on the set. Because this is something that resonates with every Nolan movie. The cast love working for him. They love going to the set every day, interacting with physical objects, being in locations, no green screen. They've not even got fucking seats, they don't care. They love standing up, the energy remains high. They love the guy. Everyone loves Nolan that works with Nolan. Cillian Murphy's worked with him. And he's of course played the lead in Oppenheimer, so he's now sort of got over that hurdle. He's led a Nolan movie, and we know Nolan likes to utilise actors again and again. Will Chris Nolan direct the next James Bond movie? I'd suggest highly unlikely, because the guy is very original in his thinking, and he does like to bring out original concepts now. I know he did the Dark Knight trilogy, but that was a one-off, I always feel, and it is over a decade ago now. He's not really did that since. He's doing original concepts. He's tapping into historical stuff. He's still doing his sort of sci-fi shit, like with Tenet. Would he be interested in coming into James Bond? Well, he's an Englishman, and he's a huge fan of film, and I imagine he's a big fan of the Bond franchise on some level. I can't imagine an Englishman being offered the James Bond franchise, be it for one movie, 2 movies, and knocking it back. And he's still a young guy, Chris Nolan. He's not fucking ancient by any means. He's got a lot of longevity as a director. He's not tapering off in his ability. He might take it. I think it's unlikely, but he might. And I can't think of a better person now than Cillian Murphy after seeing that image. It is just incredible. Look at the blue eyes. Look at the jaw. The chiseled cheeks. The hair. The suit, man. The cufflinks. Everything. The bow tie. And we know Cillian can do accents. He can do them very fucking well. Hell, he played a Brummie for long enough in Peaky Blinders. So if he has to be English, I'm sure Cillian can do an English accent. I'm all aboard the Cillian Murphy train now. Can Cillian Murphy really be in the next Bond? For me, he can. Abso-fucking-lutely. He can be the next James Bond. And in fact, I now want Nolan to do it, and I want Cillian to be the Bond. So I've went full circle. Shove Sam Heughan. Shove all the other geezers, Sean Reggie-Page, Idris Elba, Tom Hardy, Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Shove them all, man. Get Cillian in. That's what I want to see. Moving on though, topic number 3. Will the Harry Potter TV reboot succeed? Now, I forgot this was even a thing up until an hour ago when I read it on MovieWeb, I think it was, Screen Rant. The 50-50 chance of getting it right there. I only went to 2 websites for movie news tonight. And me being me, I picked the wrong one because that's just me all over. And it sums my day up, really. I've been consistently getting binary choices wrong every single step of the way today. But yeah, Harry Potter. Will the Harry Potter TV reboot succeed? This is coming in from Screen Rant, as I say. It's David Heyman, who was a director and I believe producer of at least 4 of the Harry Potter movies. I think he directed 3, 4. The last... Well, I think he directed Half-Blood Prince and the 2 Deathly Hallows movies. Prior to that, you'd have had Order of the Phoenix. He may have did that as well. I don't think he did Goblet of Fire. I know Alfonso Cuarón did Prisoner of Azkaban. And it was obviously Chris Columbus before that with the 2, Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. Don't know who did Order of the Phoenix, but he did at least 3 of the movies, David Heyman. I'm pretty sure he did. Or is that a different guy I'm thinking of? Fuck knows, man. It was a David anyway. He's produced all of them, I'm pretty sure. Synonymous with the Harry Potter films from the the late 90s through the 2000s. Guy's well versed in Harry Potter. He knows the universe. And he's been teasing this new Warner Bros. TV reboot for Harry Potter. And this is what I had to say via Total Film. An update to Total Film via Games Radar. It's all very Inception. Multiple levels of sources going on here. And I had this to say on Harry Potter. I hate that shit. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. See when they put brackets in, sort of acknowledging what he's talking about, but he didn't fucking say it. I hate that. I don't mind it when it's on Harry Potter, but see this shit, but hopefully it will be. You don't need to do that. Just quote him verbatim. Quote what the man said. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to ignore the brackets. Get the brackets to fuck. It's early days. We haven't even hired a writer to begin writing. It's a bit early, but hopefully something that's very special and gives us an opportunity to see the books and to enjoy a series which explores the books more deeply. And this is the question I'm going to get into. Will it be better? Can it work? Well, I mean, you can certainly explore the books more deeply, that's for sure, because you've got longer form storytelling opportunities. That's the beauty of TV. The medium of TV, by its very nature, allows long form storytelling. You can have, I don't know, a 6-episode mini series, but that doesn't make sense. Six episodic seasons, 6-episode long seasons, if I can speak correctly. But it's, I don't know, an hour long, 6 hours worth of potential storytelling dedicated to each individual book. You do the maths on that, I'm absolutely horrendous. Even basic mathematical equations, 6 times by 7. I think it was 7. Was it 6? How many books was there? Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows was 7. I still can't think of what it's a lot. You've got a lot, tens of hours worth, tens and tens and tens of hours worth of storytelling at your fingertips for each individual book. So in terms of the actual delving into the books deeper, you've certainly got a greater scope for doing that in TV. The first alarm bell is Warner Brothers. I hope it's HBO who are getting involved with doing this TV show. I hope it's not Warner Brothers direct. HBO I know are connected to Warner Brothers. They're symbiotic. It's the same company. One's a parent company of the other. One's almost the film sort of hub of the company and the one's the TV hub. So the first alarm bells, as I seen Warner Brothers, I hope it's HBO. Because HBO are synonymous with phenomenal storytelling, phenomenal TV shows, high caliber scripts, high caliber directing, high caliber acting, able to attract the best actors on the planet. Now, you've got the big issue of recasting. It's young actors again. How good are they going to be? How's their chemistry going to be with each other growing up? Because they are going to be growing up with them. And this is a long haul. This is a decade's worth of storytelling again. And the issue that they encountered with the movies, where they grow up, how fucking tall are they going to be? Is it going to throw things off? Is one going to balloon into Andre the Giant? Is one going to be Peter Dinklage? Is Hermione going to be taller than fucking Harry? you go through that whole rigmarole again of having to cast and having to almost CIA it, where you're fucking getting into the parents' lineage and finding out their growths and heights and shit like that, and if they still get hair at this age, you've got to try and make it as authentic as possible. So I hope it's HBO Max in a sense, because I know they will get it right. They'll get the small details right. Everything will be right. Will it succeed though? This is the question that's asking. Can it replicate the success, or indeed better the actual movies? Well, I think it's got a hard fucking time, because the movies for me are phenomenal. They get better and better and better and better, and they become more mature and darker as they go on, as they should, because the books are the same. Initially aimed at kids, then young adults. I thought the movie's done a stellar job of doing that, replicating that maturing process, the darkness seeping in slowly but surely. The cast was just perfect, man, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Tom Felton, Matthew Lewis, the twins, I forget their names all the time. I was literally watching them playing golf the other day. Just brilliant casting. Bonnie Wright, Ivana Lynch. The cast was on point, man. Really, really was. And also the old school names, the sort of established British actors, your Maggie Smiths, Richard Harris, Michael Gambon, Alan Rickman, Gary Oldman, fucking Judi Dench, not Hugh Bonneville, the other one, Jim Broadbent. They got it bang on, man. They got the cast bang on. It was special. It just worked. We grew up with these guys. I grew up with them anyway, because I was the same age as them. It was just special. Can you replicate that? Can you make it better? I don't think you fucking can, man. I think you've got a hard time, just over a decade out from the movie's ending, at reigniting that interest and try to capture that lightning in the bottle again. You have to remember the movies came out not long after the mentalness of the books taking the world by storm. Kids, everyone was reading these books, and it was a zeitgeist moment. People were buzzing to see these movies. It was a perfect moment to drop it. The world was different in 1990, 2000, 2001. I keep saying 99. It was a different world, man. We've become more cynical. We've got smaller attention spans now. Kids aren't the same. They're trying to grow up as quickly as fucking possible. I just look at my two nieces. Well, one of them anyway. And she's got no fucking interest in Harry Potter, as far as I'm aware. And she's fucking 10 now. So that would be the demographic you're aiming it at. No interest in Harry Potter. My generation, obsessed with Harry Potter. Even now, doing house sorting fucking quizzes. Going on to Pottermore, or whatever it was. Finding out what your wand was. Or was. That was my generation's thing. The current generation are TikTok. They're fucking totally wired differently. I don't think the lightning is there to be recaptured in a bottle. You're going to succeed in pandering to my generation, the people in their 30s, late 20s, 40s. They'll be interested in these TV shows. But again, they've grown up, they've matured, they've already experienced it with the movies. They're loyal to these actors, they're loyal to these characters that they've seen and grew up with. It's going to seem like it's alien. It's almost like there's something that came into my head there, and I'm banking on it. It was actually Stephen, comedian Brian Lemmy Lemond, watching Rainbow. He grew up with it, but he grew up with a certain version. And he went back at archival footage and watched the very first versions, and the characters are different, and the actors are different, and it was like shock. It was a shock to the system. He was watching it and thinking, what the fuck is this? This isn't right. Uncanny Valley. That ain't right. That ain't right. What the fuck's going on here? That's what you're going to have with a TV show with new actors playing these beloved characters. For me, it's going to have to be really special. Really, really special, this TV show, to succeed. The casting's going to have to be bang on. You're going to have to promote it unbelievably well, and that's before you even get into the shitstorm of the whole trans issue on social media with J.K. Rowling and all of the people who follow that particular, whatever the fuck it is. There's a word for it, I can't think of it just now. That particular train of thought, for people who are not really as, I don't know, activism in the brain, who are not as mobilised in politics and just live life doing their own thing, they'll not be as fussed, but there is a sizable degree of people on social media who would will this TV show to fail, because it's related to J.K. Rowling, and she's made remarks in the past that they fundamentally disagree with. We've seen it with Hogwarts Legacy. If you think that's bad, that was a video game with no real ties to J.K. Rowling and all new stories set in that universe. Wait till they reboot the actual fucking books on a TV show. On a TV platform, I should say, streaming service, with direct links to Rowling. My God. You will not see whining like it ever again in your life. So, it's up against it, man. I hope it succeeds. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. But for me, the movies are always going to be number one. You can do long-form storytelling, but the condensed, just instant gratification it was those movies. They hit all the points for me. There wasn't much left out of the stories that you were yearning for. They just get it right. It was special. It's up against it for me. I'm moving on, though, to this topic right here. These are going to be shorter. I'm not going to lie. I'm running out of time here. Not in sense of the actual time, but in sense of my voice. I can feel it going. It's going, man. I'm going to turn into fucking Miley Cyrus by the end of this show. That was when what was that song she's got just now? When I was young or some shit like that. You're 30 years old, Miley. Shut up. You're still young. Live life in the moment. Stop trying to age yourself, for fuck's sake. You sound like Dolly Parton now, but you're not Dolly Parton, I can assure you. Taika Waititi. Is there an issue with Waititi's Star Wars film? I've posed this question based off of a video clip. He was at an awards show. I don't know what the awards show was. And I think it was regarding Sean Levy. Did a speech. Made a little throwaway joke about Sean Levy just like a virus moving from franchise to franchise to franchise, destroying it. He was joking, of course. It's typical Taika Waititi humour. Suggested he'd go to Star Wars inevitably. Hopefully, unlike me, he can finish his script. I think that was the remark he made. We'll see it down here. Unlike me, let's hope he manages to finish a script for that. And, yeah, I don't know what to make it. He's adapting a film, as far as I know. He's working with Kirsty Wilson-Cairns, I think her name is, who helped write 1917, whatever the Sam Mendes movie was, about World War One with George Mackay. She helped write that. She wrote the Camembert cheese moment. His hand goes through the dead German soldier's body, and it has a texture like that of Camembert cheese. That stays in my mind. Because I tried Camembert cheese, and it was fucking horrendous. And I fought a dead German soldiers floating along a river somewhere in Belgium, or wherever it was. It would have been Belgium, I think. Neither here nor there. He's supposed to be writing a movie with her, and that remark just does once again have me thinking that perhaps Star Wars is about to hit a roadblock again here with another brilliant director, and that we're going to encounter yet another case of Kathleen Kennedy, current president of Lucasfilm, hiring someone to make a movie, announcing the movie, giving it a release date by all accounts. It's going to be the next Star Wars movie to be released post The Rise of Skywalker. I had to think about the name there. That's how bad that movie was. I've tried to erase it from my brain. And now, I think we're 2 years on, there's still no script, there's no further developments. He's joking about it at fucking award shows, saying I've not got a script. Maybe this guy will come in 10 years and he'll have a script. It's all chaotic. It's a shambles. An absolute shambles. A shit fucking show. A joke. And again, it's why I don't want to see Star Wars get into film. As long as Kathleen Kennedy is the current president of Lucasfilm, they stay away from film. Wait till she's gone and they bring in someone competent who's a fan of the fucking franchise, who gets what it takes to produce a compelling story for a fandom who deserve great storytelling. We've got it with Andor because you've got guys like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni who fundamentally understand Star Wars. We've got it with also the Mandalorian and Spits and Spats, if you like. We've got it with currently Ahsoka, really enjoying Ahsoka. When you get people who are passionate about it and understand the world, the universe, magic happens. There is still magic within Star Wars. But she's, by all accounts, the sort of controller, de facto tyrant, dictator over fundamentally the movie side of things. I don't know so much about the TV side of things. So as long as she's micromanaging the projects and is involved in any sense in films relating to Star Wars, I don't want another Star Wars film. And I'm willing to cut my nose off to spite my face and forgo Taika Waititi making a Star Wars movie, a guy that I love. He's one of my favourite directors. I think his brand of humour and his storytelling would lend itself really well to certain Star Wars stories. I'm willing to forgo it. I'm willing to cut my nose off because she's fucking useless in her current role. Not doing her down as a producer. Brilliant producer career. Speaks for itself. As a president of Lucasfilm, it's been an unmitigated disaster. Her tenure. And this is just yet another movie on the scrap heap by the looks of things. To join James Mangold's Lord and Miller with Soul, Patty Jenkins, Kevin Feige's, I'm sure there's other ones, the Binoff and Wise TV show I think they were going to do. So many Star Wars projects announced, bit the bullet, never to be seen again, never to see the light of day, and there's only one person to blame and it's Kathleen Kennedy. So is there an issue with the IT Star Wars film? It may be writer's block. He might just have chucked it, might just realise that Star Wars is not for him. He can't tell a compelling enough high standard Star Wars story in the time that he's got in a movie. Maybe it's him admitting defeat. Maybe his confidence is away a bit after Love and Thunder. I don't know. But for me, I'm tending to agree with myself here, if I do say so myself. I think Kathleen Kennedy is once again just meddling. Project managing is abysmal, and just announcing things prematurely before you've got a solid foundation there and you know something's going to happen for sure. How many projects we're going to announce with them fucking failing to see the light of day before we come to the realisation? Bob Iger fucking steps in and says enough, bring them in, give us a compelling script, then we'll announce it. Get the fuck, move on. I think there is an issue in short. And I'm moving on to the final topic. This is very short. I hinted at this earlier. There's nothing epic about this poster. Let's be honest. There's not. To be fair, they mention a teaser trailer. I'm not watching the teaser trailer. I've seen enough trailers relating to this movie. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And I'm looking forward to the movie. I have to say, I says it before, I like the concept of the story, the powers affecting each other when they use their powers. I think it looks pretty epic. The villain looks cool. It's a retelling of a male villain, I believe, from the comics. She's female now. Is what it is. I'm not really fussed about that. I think it looks pretty decent, the film, but I'm not going to watch another trailer relating to it. I have to say though, it is a cool poster. Let's not be too harsh. Love the fucking cat, by the way. Even if it did destroy Nick Fury's eye, and it's a little alien bastard. But it's a cool cat. It's a cat. It's a tabby cat. What more do you want in life? And it's out in space by all accounts there. So again, what more do you want? A spacefaring cat. I'm sure Cosmos, the dog or whatever it was, there was a dog sent up to space by the Russians, I'm sure, and it died. I'm sure he's not bitter at all, floating out in his tin can somewhere. Well, this motherfucker, this Madachod, runs about with nothing at all protecting it, just chilling in a low atmospheric setting. Neither here nor there though. This is the poster. It's a cool poster. It's fine. I do feel that you almost back yourself into a corner when you utilise 3 primary characters in a story like this, because they all have to have their place on the poster, when in reality all we're really here for, if we're being honest, is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. They call it the Marvels, but she is the star power here. She's the Academy Award winner, like her or hate her, love her or hate her. She's the star power. She's the primary character in this story. These two are just sidekicks. They're like second and third spokes in the wheel. She's the wheel itself. But when you utilise them and you frame it like this, the Marvels, they all have to have pride of place in the poster, and that really does limit you to what you can do. It's really her front and centre, those two either side, in various different artistic ways. And I have to say, the one that I actually used and cut up and put in the thumbnail that we did a couple of weeks back, well, what I did when I spoke about the Marvels, That is the best poster I've seen in a long, long time. Fucking epic, artistic style. Love it. This one, though, is it epic? No, it's not. It's average. It's good. But it's not epic. Even that just looks cheap and tacky. The sort of flame. It's okay. Don't know what more to say about it, really. It's great in the bottom of the barrel. I put this in before I actually found the Taika Waititi story, then I thought I'll fling that in. I was actually typing the topic up in Photoshop as the stream was starting. So this was very much tacked on. This wasn't. I was actually going to ditch it, but I thought, fuck it, I'll speak about it anyway. And I've spoke about it. And now I'm done. So I'm now going to present it to the viewers who've perhaps got to the end of this video. What was your thoughts on the array of topics I touched upon? What do you make about Haunting in Venice? Setting a Rotten Tomatoes record for a Hercule Poirot related project. Share your thoughts down below about Hercule Poirot, the movie, Agatha Christie, Kenneth Branagh. Anything you feel compelled to share can be shared down below in the comment section. Share your thoughts down below about Christopher Nolan's potential dabbling with James Bond. Would you like to see Cillian Murphy in a Chris Nolan James Bond movie? What's your thoughts on Harry Potter, the TV show getting rebooted? Can it work? Can it better the movies? Or are they up against it big time with the whole trans thing and J.K. Rowling and all that nonsense? What's your thoughts on Star Wars and Taika Waititi? Finally, the Marvel's getting a new poster. Anything you feel compelled to share can be put down below in the comment section. That's the place to put your thoughts. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Thank you for watching. All that jazz, and until the next time, I am done. Bye-bye. Didn't work. It did now. I forgot to take the topic off there when I was doing the outro, and I'm like, you know what? That topic's still up. I'm fucked. I'm going to have to go do something. And I did. Bye-bye. Oh, and thank you for the comments as well. I forgot. How rude of me. Thank you for the comments. Thank you to everybody for coming in. Appreciate it. Catch you after.